9:16. Welcome back to the morning show with Jeff and Will here on AM 1700 WRCR, Haverstraw, WRCR.com. And at this time, we welcome in, as we usually do at this time on a Monday, it is Tina Traster of RCBizJournal.com. Good morning, Tina.
Good morning, Jeff. How is everybody over there?
Doing well, thank you. Yourself?
Very well, very well. So much to catch up on. Of course, we put out a breaking news piece yesterday on disturbing comments that came from the Islamic Center of Rockland. I guess I don't know if you've had a chance to talk about that on the radio this morning. I'm guessing you have.
Oh, indeed, we have. We had our own reporting on that as well. We spoke with Supervisor Homan about it this morning as well. We did see that they had the Islamic Center put out their own statement, distancing themselves from it and apologizing for it. Which was nice to see. Yep.
That's in our story.
Yep.
So that's sort of started the week on a Sunday. I think it was maybe the week before last even, we reported on a seemingly changing of the guards for the Rockland Business Association. This is, I think, interesting and potentially hopeful news. The organization has been flagging. Really, the Rockland Business Association has traditionally and should play a very significant and pivotal role in the business community. Like many organizations, I think that they were, hurt by the pandemic, and their the model of how they did business was really disrupted. But I think that it was even, pre-pandemic blues that were really starting to fray that organization and kind of make it feel tired and possibly out of date. And now Assemblyman Ken Zabrowski, along with the lobbying/law firm that he has joined, is going to be stepping in as the president, breathing in some new life, some fresh face, young blood, hopefully new ideas, and sort of a new way of stimulating what should be an association that should be very germane and useful to everyone in the business community.
I actually think you're being a bit harsh on the RBA. I think they've done well. I think they've helped people who do get involved with them. Those who don't, I mean, you're not going to be helped. I mean, that does happen. But I think they've done, like you said, there's always a good idea to bring in different perspectives and young blood. That does help, and hopefully that does change things or make things a little bit different. That's there's no doubt about that.
Well, the hard truth is that the organization went from sort of 4 full-time people down to just Al Samuels. The organization's events were poorly attended in the last couple of years. If you look at the revenue, the change in revenue, we put that in the story. There was hard proof that the organization was floundering. And, this happens to businesses, it happens to organizations, and that's when it's time for a reset. I think kudos to them for switching things up and for looking for a new way to reinvigorate. So better that than just kind of dwindling until it might have been crunched down to nothing.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that, certainly. And like you said, COVID does have something to do with that a little bit. But, it always is nice to get a fresh perspective on things.
Yeah, so anyway, we'll see how it starts to, unravel, and it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what, Zabrowski does. Interesting to see what he does with the place. I don't think he has. I don't think he's come from the private sector. I think he's really government all the way. So that's kind of an interesting tidbit. But he certainly is well connected, and is energetic, and so those things should bode well. So we shall see.
Yep.
We will be watching to see how the organization redefines itself. Moving on, unless you have any further comments on that.
Nope. I do want to give kudos to they had a fantastic marketing group there that monthly did some wonderful marketing things and educational seminars. I myself was involved with that, and so was Risa Hogue. We did a great job. So I'll pat ourselves on the back while we're talking about the RBA.
Will that be continuing that marketing group?
It will not. No, that actually we stopped doing that about a month or so ago. But there might be a different marketing group taking our place. Risa and I's run are done, though.
Okay, I did not. Well, yes, you guys have done a good job with that. I myself also participated with you.
Yep.
You were. I think I was a guest at least twice, and so yeah. I mean, this serves a function. This is how the business community is meant to come together.
Yep.
It's funny about this because I've toyed with the idea of doing an essay around this or an editorial around this because I've been to certain places, where I've traveled and have noticed sometimes there's a very strong county-wide chamber of commerce, that functions in a very robust sort of way in terms of, getting the community interests, the business interests aligned, and creating events and what have you. And I've always wondered whether to really think about the RBA as whether it is or whether it should be a county-wide chamber of commerce and how that might look different. It's just a thought. It's actually a thought that I have had. And partially the reason for that thought is that while the individual chamber, I think we have, I don't know, I've tried to count this, maybe 7 or 8 smaller chambers here. Nanuet may be kind of the biggest. Nyack has its chamber. The Sloatsburg has there are.
There's the one in Suffern. There's North Rockland too. Yeah, there's small localized ones. Yes.
Yeah, there's small localized ones. I know that Piermont pretty much I think has lost its chamber of commerce. It's been through a couple of iterations and different leadership, and I think it lost its leadership maybe a year ago or so. But I wonder if there's not if there shouldn't be some thinking about incorporating the work of the chambers within this RBA in an effort to have something that looks more like a county-wide chamber. It's just food for thought. But I have been to, I was in Maryland a couple of years ago, and I remember coming across a chamber for, I think it was called Kent County. And I had stumbled upon their literature and their agendas and what have you, and it was so robust. That I remember thinking, this really should be replicated here in this county. More of a coordinated effort, so that the business interests are sort of pulled together under a big tent. I just think it would be interesting to contemplate. Anyway, for whatever that's worth.
Exactly.
What?
I said exactly.
Yeah. And then wanted to talk about a story that we put up. This is more than a week ago, but I think it's worth mentioning. So in 2005, the town of Ramapo purchased a former movie theater at 62 North Main Street in Spring Valley for $600,000+. And the building, which is known as the Spring Valley Cultural Arts Center, has been used by the NAACP as its Rockland headquarters, but overall the building is underutilized. And now the town is seeking Empire State Development grants to transform the center into a mixed-use athletic center with low to moderate income housing. And what's interesting about this is that we did a kind of one-on-one with Ramapo Town Supervisor Michael Speck. I don't know if he talked about this piece on the radio at all, but he's really out front, and actually he's really the only one of the 5 town supervisors who is taking the lead on trying to create a, direly needed addition for affordable, addition to the housing mix in Ramapo. And the way that he is sort of putting his mouth where his money is that he's applied and received his to the Empire State Development for financial assistance under something called Restore. And I'm sorry, he's applied and received approval from the New York State Pro-Housing Community Program. This, as you probably know, is Governor Hochul's carrot, after using a stick for many years, to impose a housing mandate on suburban communities that have been reluctant to expand housing options in their municipalities. And he said, quote, to us, we know there's a tremendous need. He's talking about housing for smaller apartments for starter families and seniors. And when we asked him, why is he doing this? Why is he the only one doing this? He said that it's basically not something that can wait. I like this quote. He said, "We thought this is the time to do this. We can't hide our heads in the sand." And so he has stepped up, and the town of Ramapo will be eligible for a lot of grants. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that the village of Haverstraw, Nyack, and Hazer have also applied and received approvals for the New York State Pro-Housing Community Program. So this is an interesting kind of deep dive with him, and it looks at rent increases and just the unaffordable picture that we've got here in the county, and how it's going to roll over and impact the workforce and starter families and a younger population and a vibrancy and also being able to retain empty nesters simply if affordable housing options are not addressed. So I'd say, shout out to Spec for being visionary about this and taking the steps. And I think it was an interesting article. So it was an interesting interview. And so we published this a few days ago. But if you haven't seen this or you don't remember and need to refresh, take a look, because it's really pretty interesting, I think.
And all you have to do, if you haven't read that article, just go to rcbizjournal.com. You can find that and many other articles that Tina produces. You can sign up for email newsletters and some other things as well. Thank you, Tina, so much for joining us. As always, have a great week, and we will talk to you again on Monday.
All right. Great week.
Bye. Thank you.